There's nothing on or off the road that looks quite like the Toyota FJ Cruiser. Thankfully, it backs up its style with a whole lot of substance. I'm Tom Baker, this is Chasing Cars, and today I'm driving one of the most unique vehicles on the market, the Toyota FJ Cruiser. The FJ Cruiser is based on the solid underpinnings of the three-door Toyota Land Cruiser Prado with a bodywork that mimics the original Toyota four-wheel drive. We spent a week with this retro blue FJ, and while it certainly stands apart from the crowd, we found that it can take the fight to the best of the competition off-road, and it's not bad on it. The retro theme continues inside the FJ Cruiser, with the colour of the centre stack matching the exterior colour. It can be a funny mix of styles in here though, with this steering wheel and dials seemingly lifted from an old RAV4. And this wheel is also only tilt adjustable, which means that it can be difficult to find a really comfortable position. The seats up here are nice and supportive though, and all of the trim inside the FJ is hardy and designed to be hosed out. The FJ includes Toyota's lower-end 6-inch touchscreen infotainment head unit, which in this car supports the satellite navigation, audio and telephone functions. It does work, just not that well. The main problem is that the touch targets and the hard buttons are all too small, and in a car this big, where some of the controls, like these climate ones, are on the larger size, it's just too difficult to use this unit safely while on the move. The back of the FJ is accessible by the suicide doors, which look really cool, but they're not that practical because you have to open the front doors to get to the back ones. Once you are settled back here though, there's a fair amount of room, certainly enough for three big guys, certainly enough for somebody 6'0". There's a good amount of headroom, and legroom really depends on where the front seats are positioned. Now while we're back here, let's talk about the price of the FJ, which is really simple because there's only one model, there's only one engine, and there's only one transmission. All FJs have the same spec, and they all have the 4-litre V6 with the 5-speed automatic, and you can get into one for about $52,000 on-road. With its back seats up, the Toyota FJ Cruiser gives you a healthy 990 litres of cargo space, all finished in tough plastic, so it can take whatever you can throw at it. It's also possible to fold the second row, giving you heaps of room for things like tents, bikes, surfboards, whatever you want really. That back door opens outwards though, which is a bother in tight car parks, but thankfully the glass can be opened independently. Driving the FJ Cruiser is really fun, and that's not just because this is a great looking car and everybody looks at you, which they do, but because Toyota has done a really good job with making the FJ genuinely enjoyable behind the wheel. First, there's the seating position, which gives you a commanding view out over the rest of the world, and as you're bowling along in the FJ, there's plenty of interesting dials for you to look at, like the compass and artificial horizon that sit up here on the dash. It's almost like a Jeep Wrangler with the vertical windscreen that contributes remarkably little to road and wind noise, which are particularly minimal. It's a very quiet ride. The sole engine available is a 4-litre V6 petrol, which is designed for the American market, which means that it's uber powerful but not efficient. But fuel economy is hardly the point of this car. If that's what you're after, look elsewhere. There's sort of three purposes for the FJ Cruiser. Firstly, for its consummate off-roading prowess. Secondly, it's a great option for camping or beach trips. And thirdly, this car is about image. There's cheaper and probably more practical options out there for you, but none of them look like this car, which is to say, it looks awesome. But back to the drive. As for the handling, it's okay. The steering is fine and it turns in with some accuracy, but the body-on-frame chassis design means that the FJ tends to pitch and roll through the corners. But the suspension is very good at soaking up bumps on and off-road, and if you do venture off the beaten track, there's plenty of forward driving tools which will make sure that you don't get stuck. Engage low range and set a ride height and you'll be okay. As for safety, the FJ Cruiser looks after its occupants with 6 airbags and the usual complement of active safety features. There's also a standard reversing camera which presents in the rear view mirror, but it's a bit too grainy for our tastes. Servicing the FJ is good value because this car is covered under Toyota's cap price servicing program, which gives you 2 services a year for the first 3 years, each capped at $210. But now for the bad news, which is fuel economy. This truck is rated at 11.4 litres per 100 kilometres, but it's seriously more like 14 litres per 100 kilometres if you, like many people, will choose to drive this car in town. Thankfully though, there's a big fuel tank, like 153 litres, which means that you'll have a range of about 1,400 kilometres, but when you do eventually fill up, it will require a second mortgage. The Toyota FJ Cruiser represents good value in its segment, but arguably its low price comes second to the fun and distinctive character of this car. Would we buy one? Absolutely.